Many of the New Testament letters begin with a greeting like this: grace and peace. Now, what is grace? Well, grace is a word that it's charis, and it means gratis or free. In other words, grace is a gift. It is the unmerited favor of God. Now, think about the difference between a gift and something that is earned or merited. When you work for wages, you earn them. You put in the hours, you put in the work, you put in the time, you produce something, you build something, you provide a service, and at the end of the time that you have done that, then you are paid for that amount of time. That's earned. That's a wage. But when someone out of the goodness of their heart, out of their own resources, their own treasury, gives you something that you did not earn, that you did not work for, that's a gift. And it's free. And it's the difference between salvation and a works-based righteousness that God has given to us salvation by His grace. And that's what we read this morning as we read of the grace of God. Titus chapter 2, verse 11. For the grace of God that bringeth salvation hath appeared to all men. God's grace brings salvation. Now, how does that work? Well, John tells us in John chapter 1 and verse 14, he says, the Word, speaking of the Lord Jesus Christ, was made flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld His glory, the glory as of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. Jesus appeared to this world. He came in the flesh, and He was full of grace when He came. This is how the grace of God that brings salvation has appeared to all men, in the person of the Lord Jesus Christ. And so, if He is the grace of God to us, the question is, God has given this gift. Have you received it? Have you received the grace of God into your life? Now, how does He bring salvation to us? Well, the Bible tells us very clearly in Ephesians 2 verse 8, for by grace are you saved through faith, and that not of yourselves, it is the gift of God. You see, Jesus is the gift of God. That's the grace of God that's given to us. Now, what did He do? Well, He came and he was born of a virgin, so He didn't inherit a sinful nature from His Father. His Father is God, and He's sinless. And then He lived a perfect life, and something you or I could never do. So He's not guilty of sin. He has no sin. And then, in God's grace, the most amazing act of love that has ever happened, Jesus laid down His life, and He did it as a substitutionary sacrifice for you and me. Now that's grace. In other words, He said, I'll take all your sin and I'll give you my righteousness as a free gift. He shed His blood on the cross, and on the third day He's raised from the dead, never to die again. And God says the grace of God that brings salvation hath appeared to all men. Jesus Christ has appeared. He has come. He has lived the life. He's died the death. He's raised from the dead, never to die again. Have you received the grace of God? You don't earn your way into God's presence by good works. You receive a free gift, and His name is Jesus. I hope you know Him. I hope that you will walk in the grace of God today. God bless you. Have a great day.